A very warm welcome, everyone, to CRF2 Round 3, the Spanish Grand Prix. My name is Fridge, and we have 14 drivers lined up today to see who can get that first position and maybe take over the lead in the championship. A lot of people not here this weekend, however, that is just another opportunity for the people who are here. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? Let's hope that it's gonna be a little bit less chaos than we saw last time around. I'm sure that these guys can handle the pressure. Who won the first race? That's a great question. That's an excellent question, even. I believe that Bahrain was won by Zach, and I think Parker won the second one. I wasn't here last week, so I wasn't 100% sure, but Zach not here, so Parker probably the favorite to win this time around. But there are some fast boys here. The wavy knife is pretty good. Theodore was fighting last year. What's this IGN F50? F50 V12? Isn't he a reserve here? Also, how's the sound when we're on board? Is it too loud? Just let me know. I think he didn't. He said he didn't have time to drive full time, because I'm pretty sure I offered him a seat, but that might be when I was tier 4 host. The onboard is too loud. Okay. Got you. The onboards are so loud. Hi, Cameron. So 2 drivers not allowed to set a lap time due to some qualifying shenanigans. Cameron and Gattis not allowed this week with their qualifying bans. As we are on board with Diner, who is starting his first lap of the weekend. Such a fun track Spain is, with a really tricky last sector here. Let's hope that the Williams stays out the way just about. And so nothing in between Diner and the finish line now, except for the final corner. Very tricky to extend here, but he keeps it within, and so he opens the dance. It's a 1:12.354. Let's see if that's going to be a competitive lap time, as Justin starts his lap. A little bit jittery, but that could just be lag. Also, he is on a pad, it seems. But a purple first sector. Ooh, touches the grass. That's not ideal. The beautiful Ferrari helmet. Theodore with a 12.8. Not quite up there, as Parker just absolutely demolishes the fastest lap time so far. A 1:11.704. A great first lap for the favorite to win today. Justin on a decent lap. 1 or 2 touches with the grass that will slow him down a bit, but aside from that, has kept that speed up there. And he will come across the line in a 1:12.6. That is enough for third at the moment. Nixco slots in just behind him in P4. Naz starting his first lap, as the Game Master has aborted his lap. Yeah, Cameron, you're gonna have all the options. So every safety car you'll have fresh softs. Could be worse. I don't know what helmet this is, but Parker's got it down. That blue and pink working really well together. Anyone else on the lap? Let's see. Efray starting his. I believe that's Pois, which I love seeing his name in Discord. Pois. Navs, what's he doing? Probably the trickiest corner of the track, but he handles it really well. The AlphaTauri driver. And really wants to slot himself in one of the top positions. And it seems that he has a decent lap on him. This is going to be a low 112. It's going to be a 111.6 even. What a lap by Navs. Just showing that. Just showing that he really has the pace to be up there with the means of Parker. Malachi still waiting. Wavy still waiting. Aiden still waiting. Patiently. Pois around the final corner. What's he gonna do? Looking good. 111.5. The times are tumbling. And Alpine is looking great so far at 1-3. As finally the Haas of Theodore coming out. Thank you, Eric, for following. Appreciate it. Oh, what is the Game Master doing? That's an interesting way of going into the pits, but you know what? I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. And Aiden finally decides it's time to set his first lap time of the day. Wavy Knife still waiting. Malachi still waiting. Might just go for one run near the end. Interesting strategy. We'll save some tires that way. And nothing much else happening. So 14 drivers will line up today. Not the biggest turnout, but at the same time that is a perfect chance for some of the midfield drivers to really show that they can fight with the top boys and get a good chunk of points, as Diner starts his lap with 70% ERS. Already in P4 currently. And that is a very good first sector so far. That was a very clean turn 1-2. 121.5, slight improvement on his own PB, getting on the power early without touching the grass. Brake late into second gear, on throttle as early as possible. Huge oversteer for the Alpha driver, but does save it. A little bit wide there. Now full throttle, no lift. He does lift. Maybe running less wing, which should help him in that first and perhaps the end of the third sector. It's looking clean so far. Curb couldn't settle the car, but he keeps it controlled. And oh, turns in too early, oversteers and goes into the pits and aborts his lap. Cool to be on board with Diner. That was a cracking lap until he touched the curb a little bit too hard there near the end. Meanwhile, on board with Aiden, he is back trying to get a good lap time here, but an opening sector of a 22.0 is 5/10 off of what Diner just did. See if he can keep up that pace, or bring up that pace rather, in order to fight more for the front as Cameron follows. Appreciate it, brother. A decent final two corners, but a big lift once again as the Game Master retires. Really confused what he was doing. Does a 127.2, drives backwards to try to get into the pits, and then I guess he crashed. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, unfortunate for him. That will see him probably starting 12th. Meanwhile, Wavy Knife is finally out and about. Also a very nice helmet by him. I think that's the same design as Parker has. I really like that helmet. Looks sick. On board with Wavy Knife. Expecting some good things from him. Into the first corner he goes. It's looking pretty neat. It's looking very good so far by the AlphaTauri. And he starts with a 21.6, slightly off the pace of some of the better first sectors we've seen, but could be based on setup. If he has more wing, he will find a lot of time here in that second and third sector, especially around here. A little bit too much curb, but makes it work for him. No lift by him, and easily makes that corner. And now a crucial corner here. Keep it rolling, and does have a good minimal speed. What is this lap gonna be? There's a yellow flag. That I think that's just Malachi going out of the way. Meanwhile, Wavy Knife around the final corner he goes. This look pretty good. Will it be up there with the rest? It's a 1:11.8, and that does see him into P4 right behind his teammate, which means it's a 1-2 for Alpine and a 3-4 for AlphaTauri. Now we have a real championship on our hands as Navs improves to a 1:11.560. A really good lap time by him, showing that he really enjoys this track. And let's see if he can keep this up with 6 minutes remaining. There is one more lap in it for him. Hopefully for him he can have an equally good race as well. Sighted currently at a 1:12.4. 8th position is not the worst, not the best. He's quite a bit away from the likes of Theodore and Wavy. But within sights is Diner, only 1/10 up the road, so let's see if Sighted can do it. Going a bit wide there again, but this is an outlap, so it doesn't matter anyway. Diner's chilling, Wavy's chilling. Malachi's chilling, he's got himself up to P4. Yeah, tire strat is going to be very crucial. Unless it starts raining in the race. I can't see the weather, but it's looking a bit gloomy so far. Nevertheless, the drivers are coping really well, as the top 6 are within 3/10. And then the bottom 4 are also within half a second of each other. They have Diner a little bit in the middle, just chilling. And now it is time to wait for the, I'd say like 2:30, 3-minute mark for people to do their final lap, waiting for that track to improve. But not Theodore. He says, I'm gonna go now. He does not have the patience, or rather wants that free track to guarantee himself another lap. It's looking pretty good. As onto the final sector we go. A purple middle sector, and he's a 10th.5 up on his own time. But needs a bit more to fight for pole in this final sector. On the throttle as early as possible. Have that confidence in the car that it won't give out. And it seems good so far. A bit of a lift there that shouldn't be necessary. But again, he does well, and it's an 11.7. Which gives him P5. Not quite the top step that he wanted. However, it is still a great improvement by him. P5 for the sole Haas driver this weekend. Meanwhile, Aiden on an outlap, leaving the Haas some space. But there's no way the Haas will make it back in time to do another lap. Aiden a bit off the pace so far, but we know that his race pace can be very consistent, and so I have full faith that he can turn this around. No one else starting yet, and he might be in danger of getting some traffic as everyone will start their in-lap around now. This is when I would go out, probably around like 2:30, just to be sure you have time to do your own preparation. But Aiden starts his lap and he starts it really wide and has to lift. It's gonna cost him some speed. And let's hope that these drivers see him coming. These two are no issue. Both McLarens are quite a way up the road, so might be safe for the Williams driver. A 22-0 again by Aiden is still 5/10 of the pace of some of the top boys, but again could win some of that time back here in the second sector. A bit wide once again, but if he keeps the speed up, that's fine. Turns in a bit too early, that sends him wide, and goes a bit wide here as well, but keeps it within the limits just about. Really struggling to find time, and he's 6/10 down on his own lap time. Really struggling to get the car around. And a bit wide once again into the final few corners. And this lap will not be the improvement that the Williams driver needs, unless he messed up the final corners last time around, but it's looking like it is not an improvement. A 1:13.8 as Wavy is out. Wavy Knife is out. Not sure what happened to him, but no final lap for the AlphaTauri driver as we are on board with the current pole sitter, Navs 4:09.5 rather, and he is looking to make his lap time even better. We should probably start from the front. It's Diner, but he has invalidated. Behind him, Nixco. He is still on a valid lap, and so we'll stay on board with him. Around the final few corners we go. Can he fight for one of the top steps? The Mercedes driver around the final corner. Good turn in. Good minimal speed. Yellow flag in the final sector. There's a McLaren off. Nixco cannot improve. What about Sided? He has to go into the pits. Malachi has binned it. And here comes Theodore around the final corner, and he takes 5th position on his old tires. As the Alpine of Poix is going through the final corner. There's a McLaren in the middle of the track. Hopefully not. He's out of the road anyway. Ifre 1:11.3. What a lap time. Navs cannot do anything about it. What about Parker, the favorite? Can he fight for pole? He is lifting. He has given up. It is no pole position for Parker, but his teammate Poix takes the pole position here in Spain. 1:11.389 is a great lap. Navs has to accept defeat. Second place for him. Wavy with his early DNF has to settle for 6th. Malachi with binning in the final corner will have to settle for 4th position. And a very balanced grid, although Alpine will be very happy. As Parker is still driving. Why are we still driving? Who's not finished? Oh, Diner's not finished. Diner is still on the lap. And he has abandoned it. Now we're all finished. So it is Poix for Navs, Parker, Malachi, Theodore, Wavy, Diner, Sighted, Justin, and Nixco in the top 10. Then it's Aiden and the Game Master, and Gattis and Cameron that fill up the rear with their quali bands. It's gonna be an exciting one. 30 3 laps, I believe, of just pure chaos. Hopefully not any huge incidents. I'm not sure why the session is not ending. There you go. Okay. So, Mike, if you're still watching, mate, who's gonna win? Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask you the same thing. I'll be honest, I have Parker. If he stays out of trouble, I think he should win it. But Navs and Poir are looking fast. But Parker has had some quality issues in the past as well, so expecting his race pace to be good. What? Cameron last the first? Hey, I'm down to see it, man. That'd be fucking sick. Just keep it clean, Cameron, and you'll be fine. I believe. I believe. Who are your tier 3 boys that are in here? Oh, it's sunny. There's nothing to lose. I'd still rather you drive safely, mate. Don't cook like last week, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Keep that nose clean. Alright. If everything has gone well, there will be no formation lap this season due to issues we had last season. Even though EA has said that it's fixed, and usually it is, we still run into issues quite often. And so it is not enabled this season. However, that just means we have the start even earlier. No time to look at the tire strats at the start, but that is all good. As we can hear the timer go down, but we can't see it, keeping us in anticipation. As we have 4 lights and 5 lights, and they're out and the drivers are off. For the Spanish Grand Prix, it seems like a decent start for both Alpines, but Nas covers off the inside as Malachi already is on the inside of Parker. Will he go on the inside of Nas as well? He will. Nas, slight contact there, but they do get through without any crashing. And Malachi just takes P2 like it's nothing. In the back, Diner has had a bit of a skill issue or an incident. We will have to see after the race. Meanwhile, Parker trying to salvage whatever is left of his P2. Navs all the way down in 4th now, as the other AlphaTauri of Wavy Knife getting pushed there by Sighted and loses a position as well. Parker still looking at Malachi with his soft tires, as is, wow, a lot of soft runners actually here in the front. And they will want to attack Pois as early as possible on these fresh soft tires. As in the back there is a move by Wavy Knife for P6, and he does complete it. Although on the inside now, he has to defend still from Side, who's around the outside, and he loses the rear, and he's in the wall. But he doesn't retire, luckily for him, but we'll have to box, and it's a virtual safety car. Both Williamses are out as well. Not sure what happened there. Both Williamses out of the race into the first lap. A frustrated Wavy will see himself crash out once again, as now a full safety car. It's in the back. We saw Diner very quickly overtake the safety car so he doesn't get lapped. And that is Justin and Aiden out early here in this Spanish Grand Prix. Heartbreak for Williams. And yeah, any incidents will obviously be reported and will be handled by the FIA. So don't worry about that. It does look like Wavy will be... Nope, he's allowed to unlock. Okay, good. On new mediums for him. Let's see what everyone else is doing. So far there were 3 soft runners. Well, I guess 4. And they've been treated to an early safety car, which might mean they might just go away from that tire. Now that they still can. The answer is no. They'll just stay out. Keep that track position. Cameron goes in. A bit of front wing for damage probably. With contact with the Ferrari, I'm guessing. He will go to the hard tires. An interesting decision. Not many positions to lose, so doing a long stint now might be the answer to do a last to first. Mike now starting to sweat, seeing his driver in P11. But we're not even at 10% of the race. We have a long race to go. And so, nothing to worry about. Well, well, well. It's a common occurrence nowadays that we see a bunch of safety cars. Let's hope that this is the first and the last one. As the field patiently waits for Wavy to catch up, so the safety car actually goes in. Probably next lap. No, it does go this lap because Wavy is here. That is really good news. Pois to restart the race. Hopefully no one trying to sit next to someone at the restart. He goes early and seems to have a small gap to Malachi, and Parker is not awake, and Navs is really far behind as there's already 3 wide here. As Nix goes in a sandwich. No, the Ferrari doesn't go for it, but does have a little bit of a tap, and a beautiful move by Sided around the outside. And now the Game Master trying to protect from Diner, who's right behind him, and Cameron is already taken P10 away from Gattis. As the Game Master now on the inside of Nixco. Will they make it through? They will. There's a yellow flag in the back. That is Diner, who has gone round, but will be able to continue his journey, as on the inside still is the Game Master in front. Pois is defending his lead, but we need to follow this for just a sec, as now we can go back to the front, as Navs has been pushed back, and Parker has lost a bunch of positions after probably some contact with Navs or Theodore, or Malachi even, because he's lost a few positions as well. And that is heartbreak for Parker, who had done so well in quali. On pace, he has more than enough time to fight back, as few drivers getting it a bit wrong with the heavy fuel loads. Going a bit wide as Theodore finds himself back into P3. He'll be pretty happy as Navs is looking at the inside here, and he takes the lead of the Grand Prix away from Pois, who had led every lap so far. In the back, it is Parker in together with Cameron, who's gotten damage again, it seems. That is not ideal for both of them, as now it's again side by side. Will they keep each other alive? And this time they do get through. Navs hangs it around the outside and turns into the inside. What a beautiful move by the AlphaTauri. And behind, it's the Haas of Theodore, and immediately looking for a move for P2, but can't quite find it. Malachi just hanging back for now and waiting for an opportunity, as Saida doing a great job filling in for Zakas, who's gotten first and second this year. Here in P5 as a sub is really good. Nice to see by him. Will they make a move here? Nixco waits just behind Wavy Knife, and the Game Master right behind him, as there's a big gap behind them to Gattis, and then a huge gap to both Alphas and the Parker. I hope that they can find their way back. Let's go back to the front and see if there's a big fight, and there is. There's 5 drivers in one camera angle as Pois is looking. Pois is going, and he's sending it, and he's looking. Can he make the move stick? Around the outside, Navs is trying to hold on, but he gets a little tap, and Theodore gets caught up in that as well. A little bit of contact, and that is Navs all the way down to 5th. Really unfortunate there, just didn't have the space right behind Poix, and then had to brake after getting a bit of oversteer, and that caused a collision in the back as there's a little bit of an incident on the straight as Wavy is round and Wavy has lost his wing. That is unfortunate for the other AlphaTauri as they are not having a great time. And Cameron in the wall again. What is going on? Cameron just fully in the wall there. Not ideal as there is a full safety car. And that is the second one in 6 laps. Oof. I believe that will be the 3rd pit stop for Cameron already. Not what he had in mind. Parker will be helped with this. That gap of 28 seconds will be gone as both McLarens are in for their first stop of the day. Getting off that soft tire and onto the hards might help him. Both AlphaTauris in as well after the contact. And Wavy for a new wing. Gatt staying out. He just boxed, I'm guessing. Parker staying out. And Cameron in for a new wing. And so a second last to first challenge for him. As the trash talking in the Discord has commenced once again. We love to see it. The top boys are just hanging out, waiting for the rest to join. Seems we'll have a safety car for another lap. As we do. So it is still Poix in the lead. Theodore right behind him. What is the tire situation? Okay, so the top 4 all on old mediums, and then it's a bunch of fresh tires. So after all that, it is Malachi in the lead. Navs right behind them, sighted, and then Gattes and Parker. Wonder how bad those tires are. At 7 laps old, that medium will start to diminish in performance. But that is neither here nor there. And yeah, I was a bit confused at some of the things that we've seen, but we just move and we'll figure it out later. Nevertheless, one more lap of safety car and then Cameron will probably catch up as there's a Ferrari around under safety car conditions. How the hell did that happen? As he tries to stay in front of Parker, is he allowed to? As he re-overtakes a bunch of people. But if he spun, I'm pretty sure that will give him an illegal overtake. What the fuck is going on? We're under safety car. There was a virtual safety car because I think Wavy was in the wall, and then it turned into a full safety car because Cameron drove straight into a wall. So I think he helped himself there. Nevertheless, that is what it is. We'll have to see after. As Pois, for the second time this race, can start the restart. And he does really early again. Theodore a little bit more awake this time around, but Nixco is slow off the line, and now on those old mediums we'll maybe see a Malachi move into turn 1. He goes defensive in front, but Malachi's still on the inside. He sends it, and he is ahead, but a good break, a good corner rather by the Mercedes, but he does get a little bit of oversteer, and that is the move done by Malachi. A beautiful overtake as Naz immediately wants to join him. Up to the front he goes, and he overtakes Nixco for P4. In the back it is the Ferrari round again, losing a bunch of positions and already back into last position by the Game Master. He won't be happy with that as Cameron has retired together with Wavy Knife. No, Wavy Knife is still okay, but he is in the gravel. What the crap is going on? I mean, we're running into the safety car limit at this point. Uh-huh. Look, I can't restart because, like, it won't change how people are driving. So the only thing we can do is, if you're in an incident, you report them, and Jack and I will look at it and we'll deal with it. But yeah, it is a bit of a mess right now. People really need to calm it the fuck down, to be honest. I'll be honest, I had faith in everyone. Oh, it's a Ferrari. I'm not surprised. The only thing I can do is you report him just like the other people who are complaining. And if I see him do anything, I can't do anything. Obviously, if he's crashing into people on purpose and it shows in one of the replays I get sent, then you know he won't be here for long. If you understand what I mean. But before I see those kind of clips, I can't just restart the whole thing just on everyone's word, and you know what I mean. But people who take people out on purpose are not long for this league. They will not see the next race. So if that's the case, don't worry about it too much. Let me just quickly type to some of the people in chat, because there is a lot of discussion. Oh boy. Alright, we are back, and Pois has started the race for the third and hopefully the final time. As he has behind him Theodore, who is defending against Malachi, who will not repeat his move into turn 1 like he did last time. Meanwhile, Gaddis around the outside of Sighted with a beautiful move by him. Wow, that is very, very nice by him, as we are on board with the Ferrari of the Game Master, who is on the inside of Nixco. And can he make the move stick? He can, as Diner is on his outside but can't quite make the move stick, as the Game Master takes P8 in the race. Meanwhile, in front, Malachi has finally taken P2 away from Theodore and might need to defend now in order to keep it, as he is right behind Pois. But at the same time, Theodore is having a little bit of a look, but not quite the look to make it last. As I'm going to keep an eye on this guy, from what I'm hearing. But I don't want to focus the entire race on him. So here we are with Parker, who is going to try and make a redemption race. Understandably frustrated with how things have gone, but with the race still being 20 laps to go, he more than enough has time to make this his, as Pois and Malachi are fighting, and Pois goes straight and he gets a 3-second pen and will lose the position as well. And that is not an ideal situation for the Alpine driver on the outside. Can he keep position? No, and a bit of oversteer will make him vulnerable to Navs, who's having a look but not just about getting the position. Parker trying to fight his way up with Sighted but can't quite do so, as the Game Master is just waiting patiently behind him. As in front it is Navs, who has overtaken Pois, who's off, and out of the race is Pois, and that is the man who was basically leading every lap of the race out already in lap 13. What a disappointing result for him. And no safety car, obviously, since I'm pretty sure we used all of them. Meanwhile, Nixco is off on his own. Not sure what happened with him, but on board with the Game Master, using all of his ERS to try and make a move. Nixco retiring on oh my god. I'm so confused. Oh, the Game Master going wide, losing that position to Gattis. And that is P7 for him. Diner in P8. And I'll be honest, I don't know what to do anymore, man. 8 people left. What a disaster. Front boys are doing reasonably well. Not sure what happened to Pois. I guess we'll hear about that later. As Parker finds himself back into P4 after all that. He's still into P4, as Gattis is going to have a look. Reserved in Tier 1 last week, and so should have the pace to fight up there, but not quite up there yet for the Red Bull driver now in P6. Sighted still with a great reserve. It's stayed out of trouble, it's just done well. P5 consistently throughout the race, basically. And that is what we like to see. As Parker still trying to make his redemption arc from third to first to last. He's basically done everything. So my prediction could still come out. Mike's prediction is in the mud. As Parker is lining up a move here. DRS is enabled, and so with a better exit here, maybe he has to lift there because the different lines. But Theodore has no chance here as Nas takes the fast lap of the race and is gonna look for a move as well. No, he's not. But Parker has taken P3 and Sighted almost joins him, passing Theodore. He has to wait patiently for now, as there is a 4-man fight for P3 and a 2-man fight for P1. And we hope that it stays clean this time. Oh, a little late lunge by Gathis, but the look is all it is. Just a look. Yeah, I appreciate it, Cameron. I think I'm gonna have a word with probably all the drivers sometime next week. There's a big moment in front by Theodore, losing the rear, and it immediately makes him vulnerable to both Sighted and Gatis. He loses the position to the McLaren, but keeps his position against the Red Bull, although there's a little bit of contact. Gatis around through the inside on the final corner. Wow, what a move. And now Theodore is immediately looking back, but everyone is moving out the way, and there's going to be 3 wide to turn 1. This is going to end in disaster. It's not going to end in disaster. Oh, but he does have to take avoiding action. Sighted does, and has to give the position away to Gatis, who says thank you very much for that 4th position. The Game Master has caught up to the rear of this fight, as in front it's still Navs and Alex, or Malachi rather, fighting. But this is the 4-man fight, 5-man fight for P3, 4, whatever. And on the inside here, whoa, that is so tricky. Diner having a look where there's no look to be had, as Parker is off again. He was not near anyone, so that must have been a moment by himself, unless there was a bit of contact with Gatis. The gap was like 1.2 seconds though. Nevertheless, that is him demoted back to the last position once again. The Game Master opening that DRS and trying to catch both Sighted and Theodore. Sighted going defensive, and Theodore says thank you for that position and takes P4. No, not quite, as Sighted tries to hold the inside but hits the curb and it unsettled the car, losing him the position to the Game Master as well, and might even lose position as well to Diner, as he does, and that's Sighted down to P7. A bit of lag in front for Diner might not help his cause either. The Game Master now promoted to 5th position, and the Ferrari will be happy to get some good points for Ferrari, as his teammate is not here today. As we go back to Malachi, who is just waiting, it seems, behind Navs on that medium tire, while Navs on that hard tire. We'll see them with different strategies. This will be the time that Navs has to pull away, and as I say that, he spins it around and goes into the wall. It's Navs in the wall. From 1st position, he bins it. Lucky he goes, otherwise a big accident would happen there, but he is now down in 7th position, and Malachi is grinning, because that is 1st position and a huge lead for the McLaren driver. And Nas will be hitting himself. What has just happened? He'll be seething with himself. Just losing the rear just a bit too early on that throttle. And that means it is now the Game Master up into 3rd, Gatis into 2nd, and Malachi, one of the only main drivers, still in the top. Sighted, Gatis, both substitutes, and the Game Master and Malachi have to defend the honor of Tier 2 here. Right behind Diner is Sighted, trying to make up for that little mistake into turn 1. Oh, a big moment for Diner in front. Tires going off at this point. And the cutback is beautiful, but he waits it out. Knows he will have DRS. And there's no need to rush. Through the final corner we go, and has a great run, and that is a move pretty much done already. He goes defensive, but it's all for show, as there's no chance you can hold off against DRS. And he does not. And that is P4 for Sighted. Back up to 4th position is a great result for him. At a bit over halfway, 60% of the race done. And as far as I know, no potential safety cars anymore. Parker does the fast lap of the race, 1:14.704, as he has caught up to the back of Navs, and that is the two old race leaders now fighting for 7th position. Maybe if others still need to do a pit stop, they might be able to heavily undercut the rest of the field. And so this could still technically be for one of the top positions, but we'll have to wait and see for that. It is good to see that these two at least can fight each other, finding their way back up to the front. And Sighted has set his sights on the Game Master right in front of him. Only that Ferrari between him and a podium position. Will he be able to make it happen? Has to slow down significantly through that final corner. A lot of understeer for the McLaren driver. No front wing damage, as I can see at least. It's just the weight of the car, as he is looking to catch up to the Ferrari, but has to keep Diner and Malachi in mind. As I say that, Malachi in the pits, and on his fresh mediums can finish this race pretty comfortably. Naz with a 1:13.9. Times are tumbling, and this undercut might be stronger than we had thought. Naz has binned it, so he's now in 7th. Aside from that, not really. We're just chilling. Parker and Navs now fighting for 7th position, as in front everyone has pretty much settled in their own pace, and with only 8 drivers there is not that much action, unfortunately. However, this fight for P3 pretty good. And the real question is now, what are the strategies going to be? What is Gaddis going to do? Is he just going to extend this hard compound tire to the end? Probably not. He might try. No, he can't try. 16 lap old. He's just extending to go to softs, I imagine. With Malachi. Excuse me. Malachi just kind of chilling. Has a huge lead on the next two people on the fresher tires. 5.5 seconds and 10 seconds, respectively. This Gattis just has to put in the laps and buy his time to go to that soft tire. The Game Master still under pressure by Sighted, and is able to hold him up for now. Parker still right behind Navs. We've seen that Navs struggles under pressure, so maybe this is the right strategy. But so far these two are fighting their way back to the front after their respective crashes and spins, as it is Sighted who goes for the undercut on the Game Master. And the real question is, where is Sighted gonna end up compared to these two? Oh, as Navs again with a big moment through the final few corners. And another moment for him. Navs really cutting it close to the edge of the track, and now will have to cede position to Parker. They have to be careful at the pit exit, but they're already past Sighted, who... That was a really slow pit stop by Sighted. Maybe had some front wing damage. And that is Parker up into P5. And Malachi in the lead, technically. Unless the front two are continuing their hard tires till the end. Not sure if they can make it. Let me rephrase. I'm pretty sure they won't make it. And if they will get caught pretty quickly. As the gaps are pretty significant. Nav's the only person within a second of the driver in front. And that driver in front so happens to be Parker. Nav's struggling a bit for consistency. He has the pace, but just struggling a bit with these random moments of oversteer, understeer by mispositioning his car. And that has cost him some lap time. However, he does have DRS, and he might be able to have a look on the inside of Parker here. And he does not. He waits it out. Which is probably the smart choice to regain some energy. As Malachi has caught the Game Master by well over a second since last time we looked at him about 5 corners ago. And that just goes to show that that hard tire is really suffering at this point. Naz trying to keep the pressure up on Parker. Parker on that hard tire, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And so that tire will just get better compared to the medium. And so Naz will have to really keep close in order to stick with him. As Sighted is only 2 seconds behind on his new medium. And Diner just driving to finish, which I have to respect, to be honest. If you're if you finish, you at least get points. So you gotta take it. Naz only 4 tenths behind, and that means that this time this is his position. Parker doesn't even bother defending it, and that is Nav's back into P5. He'll be happy to re-overtake Parker here. They are slowly catching Theodore, but not anywhere near fast enough. The Game Master really struggling for grip. As Malachi has to be a little bit careful with track limits. Although no track limit penalties so far. Not sure if it's more lenient in the race than in time trial, but I did put it on strict. I did see some people go outside of the limits, but oh wait, there's penalties are just not on. Oh what? Oh no one did get penalties. Spicy. Anyway, Parker still on the back of Navs, and so it'll be pure strategy. Will you pass him now, or will you just wait and overtake him later? With the amount of energy he has, he probably can just overtake. And as I say that no one got a track limit penalty, it is Navs getting his first of the day. Commentator's curse, bro. I'm so sorry. That will surely see this fight pretty much over. Parker doesn't even need to overtake in order to take P5 away. As Malachi, with 7 laps to go, suddenly got this just extending this. Doesn't seem as weird anymore. Gap to Malachi is 8.5 seconds. And we only have 6.5 laps to go. 7. Huh. Gat is putting in some really good laps on that hard tire. Just outside of DRS range just yet for Malachi. But him overtaking the Game Master is an inevitability, as the blinking light of the DRS shows and will give him confidence. And the gap 7.5 seconds now. He is much faster than Gatis. But is it enough? He needs right around a second and a bit per lap and overtake him to win this race. And the Game Master will try and fight it, but will know that it is all for nothing. Will he go for the move here? He does have the grip, but doesn't dare make the move just yet. The Game Master didn't seem like he was defending it. Just trying to get around, and this will cost a lot of time for Malachi. Time that he does not have. Luckily, he has that DRS here and will make the move pretty easily. And he does so comfortably. English is a tough language, boys and girls. Anyway, 7 seconds the gap with 5 laps to go as the Game Master gets a track limit penalty, which might see Theodore try and hunt the Game Master down for that podium, as Naz has re-overtaken Parker, but it's more for show than anything else. 6.6 seconds the gap with a little over 5.5 laps to go. Will he catch Gattis? And just like the last few weeks that I commentate, it is absolute chaos in terms of safety cars and crashes, but the last few laps never disappoint. Just like we saw in Qatar at the end of last season, we had a last lap 3 wide into the final corner for the win, basically. And I think the gap between P1 and P2 was a few hundredths. But that is last season, obviously. The race has finally settled, mate. 8 people left. But with his newer mediums, he should be catching, but he's not catching fast enough. And I think at this point, he might have to just accept the fact that Gattis has robbed pretty much everyone with his hards that are just 23 laps old. That is impressive. Against 8 lap old mediums. That is... I'm surprised Malachi doesn't have the pace to catch. You would imagine he's like a second at least faster, right? Shows how much I know about this track. Anyway, a great race it must have been by Gattis, must be said. Meanwhile, Nav still trying to fight Parker, but at this rate will even lose his position to Sighted with his penalty. That is obviously without considering all the other penalties that will be happening after the race, I'm sure. Alright, it seems that Malachi has given up, and so this is the only fight left to commentate. Man. What a disaster. Some strong words will be discussed, will be said after this race. Because this is just not okay. Nevertheless, we will have to deal with it then, and now we'll just have to see out this race. Hopefully it finishes within like a few minutes, because woof. Must be said that some of these drivers have done really well. I think Sighted has kept his nose out of trouble today. Naz and Parker kind of killed themselves, but not really other people. And Malachi had an admirable job today. And Diner kind of chilling in the back. Although I'm not sure if it's him actually driving or if it's an AI at this point. I guess it would be see-through if it was AI, right? How would I be able to tell? Gattis, 3 laps between him and the finish line, and 5 seconds the gap. If he can keep it clean, and if he has no outstanding penalties, Yeah, Gat is showing why he reserved for Tier 1 last week. Although it will be a provisional finish with a lot of incidents probably reported after. A lot of discussion will be had. But he has shown on track at least that he has insane pace and consistency. Because Parker and Navs have shown to have insane pace here as well, but couldn't quite keep the nerves. And Gaddis just did not waver and did not need a second chance. Just took it with both hands and is just looking like finishing this race in style. The Game Master will not keep his third position at the current rate, although from what I heard he won't be keeping that position anyway with the amount of penalties heading his way. Theodore, kind of an invisible race for him, but if that finishes with a P3 we just have to take those. Must be said, respectful drive by him. Sighted has lost a bit of ground to Navs and Parker, which might even give him the position to Sighted with a 3-second penalty in the gap 2.9 seconds. He might just have done enough. But Parker can spoil the fun as the final lap is started by the Red Bull driver. If Parker overtakes Navs, that will probably slow them both down enough to get Sighted P6. That will be the last thing we can really talk about. On board with the Alpine, who wants this on track, and he will make the move. He will not make the move. No need to take the risk, but also didn't use his battery. Waiting it out for maybe the next straight. No real clear opportunities anymore for the rest of the lap. That was basically the place here. Oh, Navs losing the rear again. And Parker on the outside takes advantage and takes that position. Sighted losing his tires. Oh, Parker's round. He's in the wall. Parker, he's out of the race in the final lap. Oh my goodness. Why are you pushing? You had it. The position is yours. Navs has a penalty. But enough about that. It is the final corner. It never disappoints the final lap. But Gaddis wins. The reserve shows Red Bull 25 points. Malachi takes P2. And the Game Master will have to settle for P4. And Theodore will be happy to be back on the podium. Navs gets donated 4 extra points basically by Parker. And Diner will be smiling if he's even driving. Can't tell if it's him or an AI. It's him, right? Yeah. 41 seconds down. Just kind of chilling. Mike, can you tell? Okay, never mind. It's him. Through the final few corners, a little bit of a mistake here on the soft tires. As Diner rolling to the end to take sort of for free. 1, 2, 3, 6 points? 6 points just by finishing. We take those, you know? Oh, he did a 1:17.1. I don't think it was fast lap. But P7, pretty good for him. I'm gonna try and salvage what is left of this tier and have a discussion with the drivers. I hope from a viewing perspective it was at least fun to watch. Hopefully next week we'll be back with some better standard of driving. My name was Fridge, and I hope you enjoyed today's race. We'll be back tomorrow for Tier 1, and hope to see you there. I think it'll be YT back on comms, and I'll be driving. Hope you cheer for me, and